Let's be real for a second. Have you ever felt like, I don't know, like you're just wired differently than everyone else? You see people with these massive friend groups, constantly hanging out, and instead of feeling jealous, you just feel exhausted. Well, here's the thing. Psychology says that if you don't have a huge circle, you're not broken. In fact, it usually means your brain is just operating on a totally different frequency. We've been told that being alone is a red flag, right? But today, I want to show you why it's actually your biggest strength. We're breaking down why your mind chooses solitude over shallow noise. And honestly, by the end of this, you're probably going to feel a lot better about those quiet Friday nights. Point 1. The fake radar. First of all, you probably have this built-in BS detector. You know what I mean? You're not antisocial. You just literally can't stand being around fake people. Some people can play along, smile, and do the whole small talk thing with someone they don't even like. But for you, it feels physically draining. Research actually shows that as you become more self-aware, your brain just stops tolerating inauthentic vibes. You'd rather be home alone than sit through a dinner with people wearing masks. Point 2. The depth addiction. And that leads into the second point. You're addicted to depth. Like you don't want to talk about the weather or what some celebrity did. You want to talk about real stuff, ideas, psychology, what actually makes someone tick. If a conversation doesn't have substance, your brain just shuts off. It's rare to find that kind of connection, I know. But instead of forcing a relationship that feels empty, you'd rather wait for something that actually means something. And honestly, that's a massive win. Point 3. The social tax. Now let's talk about the social tax. Some people walk into a party and feel recharged. But for you, every conversation is like an app running in the background, draining your battery. It's called high social sensitivity. You're not just listening. You're analyzing every tone, every look, every hidden emotion. It's a lot of work. So, when you pull away to be by yourself, you're not being rude. You're literally just plugging your brain back into the charger. Point 4. You're your own best friend. One of the coolest things about people like you is that you don't need a crowd to feel valid. Think about it. Most people are terrified of being alone because they don't know who they are without someone else's approval. But you can entertain yourself. Solve your own problems. You've built this whole inner world that you actually enjoy living in. That's not being distant. That's being independent. You don't collect people. You're just very, very picky about who gets a backstage pass to your life. Point 5. The guarded heart. And finally, let's be honest, you've probably been burned before. Maybe it was a bad betrayal, or just being around the wrong crowd for too long. Your brain has learned to be selective. Psychologists call this a high-trust threshold. You don't just hand out keys to your life to the first person who's nice to you. You observe, you wait, you test the waters. People might call you guarded, but I call it being smart. You're protecting your peace, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Look, if you're one of those people who walks alone, just know that some of the strongest minds in history did the exact same thing. You're not weird. You're just rare. If this hit home for you, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button and stick around. We're going to be digging into more stuff like this that school definitely never taught us. Welcome to the Easelist. I'll see you in the next one.